Welcome back into our topic about the circle theory. It's a continuation of the previous video, right, where we're discussing about the properties of a circle, tools that we can use to solve the problems in the circle. Right, so previously, in the previous video, we have discussed one property that talks about the angle at the center is twice angle at the circumference. We're talking of the arc like A, B, this arc is able to subtend an angle at the center just by having this arc being opposite to the angle at the center. So there you have got a line from A to O, B to O like that. As such, you find that the two things are formed, arc AB and angle at the center. So what we saw that time was just like that. This arc is opposite to the angle at the center. We say this arc has subtended angle at the center. And the same arc, if it is also going to be opposite to the angle at the circumference like that, it means that arc is also described as being subtending an angle at the circumference. Right, so what we're talking about here is what has already been discussed in the previous video. So you can just go to the link down here and be able to follow it out. So you can play that video. Right, so here we have an example where we need to be able to see ourselves applying the first property that we discussed about the angle at the center being angle at the circle, being twice angle at the circumference. Right, so here we have a problem, that's example 1, where we are asked to find the values of the marked angles. In this case, we need to work for the value of y and the value of f and also the value of x. Given that the value of angle at the center, this reflex angle here is 210 degrees. Right, so I think you'll be able to bear with me as per what we discussed in the previous video. That's what we have in the diagram here. You'll be able that this diagram is there depicting exactly what was there in the discussion. That's the way it goes by geometry. So it's likely that when you are thinking as a student to say what type of knowledge can I use to work out for particular angles, like say in this diagram here, you refer to what you have learned. It's more like coming like almost like the same. So this pictorial view is not all that new. It's the thing that we have been always been exposed to when we're discussing the first property. That's the angle at the center is twice angle at the circumference. We're talking about a particular arc subtending angle at the center, minor arc subtending angle at the center, and that's the circumference, the same that falls by the what? The major arc. So now, let's now begin the story this way. We are going first of all to calculate the value over talk of angle F. This one here, angle F. Right. By the theorem that we discussed earlier, we talked of this and this one we observed. That is to say, if we have got an arc A, B, in this case, let's talk of the major arc. In this case, we talk of arc V, N, P. Let me substitute this one now. Let me draw a bigger shape like this. Arc V, N, then here we have got P. This one here, this major arc, this one, the major arc. So this one is your minor arc. Here there's the center. And you have got a line here from V to O, like this one. Look at this. And a line from P to O, like this. Look at this. And we say that this arc here subtends this angle at the center from the previous video's discussion. And then if we have got the same line from V meets at the circumference like that, that one again from P meets like that, we also say that this same arc is also subtending angle at the circumference. So you can be able to see that, say, the major arc, the way it subtends angle at the center and the circumference, we are talking of the angle that looks more like this one, if you can relate what we discussed in the previous video. So from what we observed was that this angle here is twice angle at the circumference. So what there is just like if this is x, this will be what? 2x. So it will be just like now, vice versa. If this is 2x, this comes in as what? As x. So now according to this diagram here, this question, instead of having this one as 2x, here we have what is what? 210 degrees. So which means in this case, to find the value of this angle here, you just have to divide you have just to divide this angle here by 2 or multiply 210 by what? A half. You are going to find what? the value of this one. So this one will be equal to 2 gets into 2, 1 into 1, 0 into 10 is 5. So obviously, by analyzing this diagram before we write it formally here, you'll be able to see that this angle here is compared with this one. They are related in such a way that this is half of the center. That's what we do. So it means angle F is equal to half 210, which comes in 105. Right. So let me put that one now into lighting for the first part. Right. So how we light? In this case, we light it like this. You talk of the angle F is equal to, you talk of the half, that is the multiplied by 210 degrees reflex angle. You give the reason here, which says that the simple, you write it, you can't write the whole of that theory, right? But you just write it in brief. So what made you to say that this is half of this one? So here we're going to write, say, angles and RT, okay, angle RT center is equal to talk of the 2 times angle RT circumference. Right. Geometry demands you to give a reason, whatever you mention. Right. So it is just like the arc is the one subtending an angle at the center, which is this one. This arc is also subtending an angle at the circumference, like that one. So this angle is the one that should be twice this one. So the opposite is true, that this one should be half of that one here. Then here now we are going to solve it out and have your 2 here 1, 2 here 1, 2 here 0, 2 here 5, which means the value of angle F is 105 degrees. So that is your answer. Right. Now, if this is 105 degrees, let's now go to angle Y. So angle Y, if you look critically, you're going to observe that here there's an arc which is VP, this arc VP. This arc VP is subtending an angle at the center because it is opposite to the angle at the center. The same arc VP is also subtending an angle at the circumference. So by what we explained earlier for the major arc, this is also true here. That is to say, angle Y should be half angle at the center. But now the problem here is just like we don't know the value of this angle here. So as a student, sometimes though you have got a property that is guiding to for that particular type of description, though the value is not there. So it means you are required first of all to work out on this one here. Then you'll be able to find the value of Y. Right. This is from the knowledge of, say, having this arc here, subtending angle at the center, which is also subtending angle at the circumference. So this must be half of this one. So what we're going to do here, we are going first of all to calculate the value of angle VOP. This is an obtuse because with the VOP, we also have got this one described by VOP. So we're going to use the type of an angle of, say, we have to find the obtuse angle VOP, which has to be related to this one here. Right. So here the way we're going to write first in attempt to find the value of Y. So it'd be like, first of all, angle, we talk of the obtuse, that's the angle VOP, right? This one here, you know what it is about this. You see, this is just a point. This angle is 210. We understand by the previous theorems in Form 2, whereby if we talk of angles at the point, we always know this angle they add up to 360 degrees. So if one angle is 210, so we expect that this angle should be the remainder of the 360. So what we are looking here is the obtuse angle VOP. So this one here will be found by saying 360 degrees minus 210 degrees. You write the reason there to say angles at a point T. Right, that theorem is just straight away known by many of you. Right, now when we subtract the 2, we have 0 minus 0, we get a 0, and then 6 minus 1, we get a 5, and then we have the 3 minus 2, we get what? 1. So that is the 150 degrees. So it means angle at the center here is 150 degrees. So this arc is obtaining an angle at the center. The same arc might now is obtaining at the circumference. By what we discovered, this is twice that. It means this should be half of this. then you're going to conclude here is to say, therefore, angle Y should be equal to what? Half multiplied by 150 what? Degrees. And this gives us what? 75 what? Degrees as such. Right. So that's the way it works here. You can see we've just added a new property, though it's not part and parcel of the circle, but still it is what? It is helping us to do that. So it's not always that, say, when you are solving, you should expect that we're going to use the properties of the circle as such. But here and there, you expect to add 2 or 3 things in order to make you move forward. Like here I've added this angle at the point, which is not part and parcel necessarily of the circle as such. Right, finally, if we can look at the value of x here, I don't think that one can give us headache. You'd see that here, for value of x, this x is found on the straight line that starts from V heading towards K. So you learned in the previous lessons in JSE that say when you have got angles like here, which are just adjacent to each other, like here, angle F is adjacent to angle X here, these angles add up to 180 degrees. Therefore, mark that this is 105 degrees. To find this one, you simply just subtract that one from 180 degrees. It's done. Right. Why? Angles on the straight line. They add up to 180 degrees. Or mention it as what? Supplementary angle. It's the same language. Talk of that. Right. So let us finish that one out by doing thus. Right. So for x here, I will just simply say angle F plus angle x is 180 degrees. You talk of what? Supplementary angles, or simply call them as the angles on straight line, like that. I know the value of F as what? 105. So I'm going to substitute here and write 105 degrees plus angle X, which is 180 degrees. You have an equation there. So there's length right terms together, and so it means this one will come to this side and you're going to remain with angle X, which shall mean the right hand side has to be subtracting each other by having 180 subtracting 105. And the answer I'll get here, it'll be like a 10 minus 5, you get a 5, right? And here we're remaining with a 7 minus 0, we just get what? A 7 as such. So the value of this angle here is 75. So more like the same like that one. Right. So by this you can be able to see how we are using up the properties in the circle to solve the problem. You first of all need to learn, get to know what it means, measure them out. You have understood this is true. Then come to the problem, apply what you exactly or what you have learned. Right. With this, I have hope that you students, you have followed what it means by the first property, where we said an arc or a chord subtending an angle at the center and at the circumference. You are able to relate that the two angles are related in such a way that one is half the other. And how we apply that knowledge, it is this the way we are doing it here. You apply it, so you'll be meeting several problems, try to solve them out. So that's why I'm encouraging you to always play the video now and again by following the link that is below here, so that you really have to get a sense of what we're discussing here. The repetition of the playing of the video will have to give you a direction until the problem that you have will go away. Now, I'll leave you an exercise here that you need at least to try to write and try to be able to reason within the discussion what we have just had in this video. Right, so can you try to work out on the following? I'll just give you one problem for you to attempt it. Right. Geometry is a very interesting topic. You don't most of the time sweat as is in the other branches of mathematics where you need to use the theorems, where you use talk of the formulas and like, but it's just like application. I know by this, then here it means this. I know that one by this, then here it means this. Just like that. Right, so this one is a try exercise. Exercise. Right. So here you also do the same as per instruction of the example there, where you begin the diagram, right? And I'll need you to work out the values of the variables whose angles are missing, right? Where you see O, regard that O as a center, because I may not going to write everything on the board because of space, but try to understand when you see it's O, that's the only major instruction here, regard that O as the center. Right, so I think I should just give you two at least. One is not all that enough for practice. So here the first one, we have a circle that is like this. It's just a sketch, that's why I'm drawing it with a freehand, right? And have a line passing through the center, and you are able to define this line as per the discussion we had about the path of a circle. And here the line goes like this, and you know that line from O to P, and also line from O to K by definition. And you have got another line that goes straight, and you know the meaning of this line. I think this one is a chord. You can't run away from that one, and I think you have mastered. And then I'll join that like that. So here we are given this angle as 24 degrees, and this one is X degrees, and this one is Y. Right. So there you are asked to find the value of X and Y. So remember, it's not always that when solving, you always just have to stick yourself into the what? Properties of the circle. You know, it's a problem. You can apply other areas. As I've done in my example, you see, I've applied issues about what? Angles and straight line. I've also applied issues about what? Angles at the point. That's how it works. Right. So here, what you've learned and some what you know. Can you think about this one and attempt it? Right. The second diagram it's not also difficult, just direct. Here we have got a circle like this one. I'll draw big shape in this case. Sorry, my chalk is somehow hard. Light not very visible, but I'll try to make it more visible to you. This is all. So we have got this line coming to the circumference. So all these we have already discussed, and the language of mathematics, circumference again, a line from O to F, and a line from O to H. And here we are also having here a line from F going to Y, and the H to Y. This is Y. And here we've got a line from H going this way, is going to the circumference and meet that Q there with the line from F. This is Q, and again we have got another line from F going up like that, and then it comes to H like this, and these two lines from F and H are also meeting at what? At B. So what we have here, we have the value of this one, not the value as such, but now this one has been represented by a variable D, and here we are given this angle as 47 degrees, and we have this one as O. As per my instructions, please regard O as the center of the circle, and then you also have got this one as P. Right. So here we are just asked to find the value of D and P, given that angle FBH is 47 degrees and O is the center. So please attempt A and B as such. Right. So this is what we had. And this is what has been portrayed in our video. Right, just a practice of the previous video's discussion where we are looking at the first property about the circle, talking of the angle at the center is twice angle at the circumference. That's where we can just summarize it up. Right, so please take your time, think about that one. How can I find D? How can I find P? And also the same here. How can I find the value of X? How can I find the value of Y? So these are the related questions that you should expect in exam that needs you to apply knowledge about the first property we've just discussed. Right, I'm happy we have been together, and I do have all hope that we will be together in the next video that we'll have soon. Right, still please, you are aged. Like to repeatedly play the videos if in case you have not managed to be exposed to any one of them, so that we have to move together until at the end. Right, we all wish you all the best as teachers. Right, thank you very much.